Good morning, everyone. Let me ask you something. When that alarm goes off and you sit up on the edge of the bed, how do your legs feel? Stiff? Heavy? Maybe it takes you a minute, or two, or five, before you feel steady enough to actually stand up and walk to the bathroom. If that sounds familiar, I want you to stick with me for the next few minutes, because today I'm going to show you a simple routine, just 3 minutes, that you can do right in your bed before your feet even touch the floor. And if you do this every single morning for 1 week, I think you're going to notice something pretty remarkable. Your legs are going to feel looser, your steps are going to feel lighter, and that morning stiffness, it's going to start fading away. For those of you just joining us, I'm Dr. Alan Mandell, and welcome to Healthy Aging America. This channel is all about giving you simple, practical tools to move better, feel better, and stay independent as you get older. No fancy equipment, no gym membership, just real techniques you can use starting today. And if that sounds like something you need, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and the little bell next to it. We post new routines like this every week, and I promise you, they're worth it. Now, let's talk about why your legs feel like this in the morning in the first place. Because once you understand why this happens, the routine I'm about to show you is going to make a whole lot more sense. Here's what's happening while you sleep. For 7-8 hours, or however long you're in bed, your body is mostly still. And inside your joints, especially your knees and hips, there's something called synovial fluid. Think of it like the oil in a car engine. It's what keeps your joints moving smoothly, without that grinding, sticky feeling. But when you're not moving for a long stretch of time, that fluid doesn't circulate the way it does when you're up and walking around. So when you wake up, your joints are essentially running a little dry, and that's part of why everything feels stiff and creaky. Now add to that your muscles. While you sleep, especially if you're lying in one position for a long time, your muscles shorten slightly. The hip flexors, the hamstrings, the calves, they all get a little tight overnight. And for those of us over 60, there's another factor at play, and it's called sarcopenia. Now that's a big word, but it just means the gradual loss of muscle mass that happens as we age, usually starting in our 40s and continuing if we're not actively working to maintain that muscle. The less muscle we have, the more stiffness and weakness we tend to feel, especially first thing in the morning when our bodies haven't warmed up yet. And there's one more piece of the puzzle: circulation. Overnight, blood flow to your legs slows down. That's normal. But it means that when you sit up too quickly and stand, your blood pressure can actually dip for a moment. That's called orthostatic hypotension. And that's part of why some people feel a little dizzy or unsteady right when they stand up in the morning. So here's the good news. All three of these things, joint fluid, muscle tightness, and circulation, can be improved with just a few gentle movements done before you even get out of bed. That's exactly what this routine is designed to do. Let's get into it. I want you to stay right where you are, lying in bed, or if you've already sat up, that's fine too. We're going to go through 6 simple movements. Each one takes about 30 seconds. Take it slow, breathe normally, and remember, this should never hurt. If something feels sharp or painful, ease off or skip that movement. Let's start at the bottom, your ankles. Lying on your back, legs extended, simply point your toes away from you, then pull them back toward your shins. Do this slowly, about 10 times. This movement is sometimes called the calf pump, and here's why it matters. Your calf muscles act almost like a second heart for your legs. Every time you flex that ankle, you're squeezing the veins in your lower leg and helping push blood back up toward your heart. That's exactly what we want first thing in the morning, to get that circulation moving again. Now, once you've done the pumps, let's do circles. Slowly rotate your ankle, 1 foot at a time. First clockwise about 5 times, then counterclockwise 5 times. Then switch to the other foot. Keep the movement slow and controlled. You're not trying to go fast. You're trying to gently wake up that joint. Next, we're moving up to the knees. Still lying on your back, slowly slide one heel up toward your buttocks, bending the knee, then slide it back down to straighten the leg. Do this slowly, about 8 to 10 times, then switch legs. What this does is take your knee joint through its full range of motion gently, which helps that synovial fluid we talked about start circulating again, lubricating the joint before you put weight on it. If you feel any pinching in the knee, only slide as far as feels comfortable. Even a small range of motion is helpful. Now let's work on the hips and lower back, which often get tight overnight too. Bring one knee up toward your chest and gently hug it with both hands. Or, if reaching is hard, loop a towel or resistance band around your foot and pull gently. Hold for about 15 to 20 seconds, then switch legs. This stretches out the hip flexor and the lower back muscles, areas that, when tight, can actually pull on your posture and affect how you walk. A lot of people don't realize that tight hips in the morning can translate into a shorter, shuffling stride later in the day. Keep the movement gentle. You should feel a stretch, not a strain. Breathe out as you pull the knee in. Now, if you're able, let's move to a seated position on the edge of the bed, feet flat on the floor. We're going to do a gentle marching motion. Lift one knee up toward your chest, lower it, then lift the other knee. Continue alternating for about 30 seconds at a comfortable pace. This move activates your hip flexors, the muscles responsible for lifting your leg when you take a step. Strengthening and activating these muscles first thing in the morning can help reduce that dragging or shuffling feeling some people notice in their walk. If balance is a concern, hold on to the edge of the bed or a nearby chair with one hand while you do this. Staying seated on the edge of the bed, feet flat on the floor, first lift your toes up while keeping your heels on the ground, then lower them. Do this about 10 times. Then switch. Lift your heels up while keeping your toes down, like a gentle calf raise, 10 times. This works the muscles in your shins and your calves, two muscle groups that are absolutely essential for balance and for that push-off you feel with each step you take while walking. Keep the movements controlled. Don't rush. If you're near a wall or sturdy surface, feel free to hold on for extra stability. For our last move, lie on your side. You can do this right back in bed if you'd like. Keeping your legs straight, slowly lift your top leg up toward the ceiling, then lower it back down. Do about 8 to 10 repetitions, then roll over and do the other side. This works the muscles on the outside of your hip, the hip abductors, which play a huge role in stability and balance when you walk. Weakness here is actually one of the most common reasons people develop that side-to-side waddling type of walk as they get older. Keep your hips stacked one on top of the other. Don't let your top hip roll backward. Quality over quantity here. And that's it. 6 simple moves, about 30 seconds each, roughly 3 minutes total, done before you even officially start your day. Now let's connect the dots. Why does doing this for 1 week actually change the way you walk? Think about it this way. When you wake up and your ankles are stiff, your knees feel locked, your hips are tight, and your circulation is sluggish, your body naturally compensates. You might take smaller steps. You might shuffle instead of stepping fully. You might feel unsteady for the first several minutes of your day. By doing these 6 movements before you stand up, you're essentially giving your body a warm-up. You're getting that joint fluid moving. You're loosening tight muscles. You're getting blood flowing back into your legs. And you're activating the exact muscle groups, hip flexors, calves, hip abductors, that control your stride, your balance, and your push-off. Over the course of a week, as you do this consistently, many people notice their first few steps in the morning feel less stiff. Their stride feels a little longer and more natural, and that unsteady feeling when first standing up starts to fade. It's not magic. It's simply giving your body the preparation it needs before asking it to perform. Before you try this routine, a few important notes. First, every one of these movements should be gentle. If at any point you feel sharp pain, dizziness, or anything that doesn't feel right, stop and check in with your doctor. Second, if you have a history of blood clots, recent surgery, joint replacements, or any balance disorders, please talk to your physician before starting any new exercise routine, including this one. And third, when you do eventually stand up after this routine, still take it slow. Sit on the edge of the bed for a moment, then stand up gradually, holding on to something sturdy if needed. This routine helps reduce stiffness, but it's always smart to transition slowly, especially first thing in the morning. This video is for educational purposes only and isn't a replacement for personalized medical advice from your healthcare provider. Now, here's my challenge to you. For the next 7 days, before you reach for your phone, before you even fully open your eyes, do this routine right there in bed. One trick that really helps people stick with new habits, it's called habit stacking. That just means attaching a new habit to something you already do automatically. So for this routine, that trigger is simple. The moment your alarm goes off, instead of reaching for the snooze button, that's your cue to start with move 1, ankle pumps. I'd also encourage you to keep a little notebook, or even just use the Notes app on your phone. Each morning, after you finish the routine, jot down one word. Stiff. Okay. Good. Great. Whatever describes how your legs feel. By day 7, looking back at that little log can be really motivating because most people are surprised at how much that word changes over just 1 week. So that's it. Your 3-minute morning leg routine. 6 simple moves done right in bed that can help wake up your circulation, loosen up stiff joints, and get those key walking muscles ready for the day ahead. If you found this helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button. It helps this video reach more people just like you. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Healthy Aging America, because every week we share simple routines just like this one, designed specifically for adults 60 and older who want to stay active, independent, and moving comfortably. Thanks so much for joining me today. Take care of those legs, take it slow, and I'll see you in the next video.